Hello, so I'm Preeti Shrevalsam and I started PAWS, the organization PAWS Thrissur in 2012. So it's been 12 years now. We are recognized by the Animal Welfare Board of India and we work in Kerala, in a district called Thrissur, a town called Thrissur in Kerala.
What's your motivation?
So I should say I'm lucky to have been born into a family of animal lovers where we've always had pets from the time we were kids. And slowly we started understanding, difficulties that animals face, and we started understanding how they are slaughtered for food and various things like that, cruelties that are, inflicted on them. And so once we started understanding all that, we decided to try and do something for them. And at a very young age, I would help my sister, and we would rescue animals, start small animals, bring them home, treat them, adopt them. And so gradually that kept increasing, and when we went for our further studies to other states, we continued the same thing there. So once I finished my studies and came back to Kerala, there were a few incidents that really shook me. One was when I happened to see a truck that was stuffed with pigs that were being taken for slaughter, and one of them fell off the vehicle. And so I went and I was in tears watching it, and I didn't know what to do. So the people came back and took the pig and carried it away for slaughter. But that's when I realized that seeing situations like this, in situations like this, we are generally helpless because we don't know what to do. That's because we don't know the laws. We don't know what can be done. So from then, that was a kind of turning point for me, and I decided that I need to understand the laws. I need to work hard so that I could, do something for animals rather than just, sit and cry in a corner when you see something.
Mm-hmm.
So that is when I decided that, we need to really work at that. And so in 2012, I started this organization called PAWS Thrissur, and in a few years, we were recognized by the Animal Welfare Board of India. And today, I run a shelter. PAWS has its own shelter where we house about 150 animals, including dogs and cattle that have been treated and rescued from illegal meat markets and various places like that. So that is what we do. But this is definitely not the end of our journey. We've got a long way to go, and we hope to try, and now we've got into a lot of legal work, because in India the laws for animals they do have good laws for animals, but unfortunately these laws are not implemented. They're not enforced. The laws are not enforced, and so people get away with cold-blooded murder, I should say. So there's a very small group of us, animal activists in Kerala, who are really fighting for various kinds of things. And one of them is the use of captive elephants, use of elephants for temple festivals where they are. So I know that a lot of people do come from abroad to watch some of the main festivals in Kerala, like the Thrissur Puram, which is jam-packed with people and a lot of elephants that are decked up. But behind all that, there's a lot of suffering. And to get these wild animals to do what they do, to perform what they do, it involves years of torture. And so these animals are, it's basically their spirit is crushed. They are physically and mentally, I would say, really tortured to make them do what they do. So there's a small group of us in Kerala who are also fighting that. So we are definitely not against rituals or tradition or anything, but we are definitely against any kind of cruelty that's inflicted upon animals, be it sports or entertainment or religion or whatever it is. We believe that animals should be given a decent life and a place in society just like human beings. All lives matter. So that's what we are fighting for.
And you told me that you also have some enemies who you don't like to see what you are doing for the animals.
Okay, that is because, so all this, when I was talking about elephants, we are fighting against a mafia because there's a lot of money involved. Elephant owners, festival coordinators, elephant contractors, So when you try getting involved in any of this and changing what is actually happening now, that means disturbing what is happening in their circles. So that's why we have a lot of enemies who are fighting against us. And similarly in the meat mafia also, transportation. Cattle are very often, not very often. Kerala is one of the states where cattle slaughter is allowed, but it's banned in most of the states in India. So what happens is these cattle, once they've had a whole lifetime of hard work and all that, then they are transported to Kerala for slaughter, which means sometimes they travel several days in trucks where they are really packed into, jam-packed into trucks. So when we find cases like that and we try and rescue them, then immediately what happens is the meat mafia get involved, politicians come into the scene, and they are all, all we are trying to do is implement, enforce the law, which the mafia is obviously against, because it affects their source of income. So which is why anything that you try and do in animal welfare, unfortunately animals are not a vote bank, while human beings are. The mafia is definitely a vote bank. So the politicians always tend to side with them. So that is a huge problem that we face.
You also told me that you had problems with the sterilization of animals.
Yeah, so that is another thing, sterilization. So all the animals that we rescue from the streets, mostly dogs, we get called for cases of dogs mostly. So we get a number of calls every day, and we are just not able to cater to all the calls that come. So as an animal welfare organization, as a responsible animal welfare organization, after treatment of each animal, we see to it that they are sterilized and vaccinated before they are released back into their territory, wherever.